Hey guys, Jason DeLong here with Heartland Homes KC, and I'm here with Laura today talking about fixer uppers. So welcome, Laura. Good always to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So, this is a topic that I think we're all thinking about because of, HGTV and seeing all these homes that people buy and then fix up.
Oh yeah.
So, we had some questions about the kind of the feasibility of it all. So, the first thing, what, so to know if you're ready to buy a fixer upper, the first thing, what financially do you have to keep in mind when you're doing this?
There's quite a bit. It's everybody wants to get into it right now. I think due to the HGTV effect. So there's a lot involved, and really it's just run the numbers to see. I mean, you can definitely get in over your head real quick if you overlook some of the hidden or just some of the facts on a house that you may not be thinking about. So you can easily get way over budget. I mean, we do this, all the time, and there's projects we go over budget, just because we're adding stuff in as we go through the project, think that it's a good idea and like a buyer will want this, and so yeah, it's super easy to get off track.
Yeah, definitely. So once you kind of come up with a budget for your rehab or anything like that, how much do you usually set aside for like unexpected costs? Do you usually have a percentage that you kind of rely on, or how do you work with setting aside money for those things that you just really can't plan out?
Right. No, that's a great question, and that's kind of evolved over time, because in the beginning we didn't, and just figure like, hey, we were spending 25,000. That's it. Well, it doesn't always go to plan like that. Matter of fact, it rarely does. So, I mean, depends on the project and the scope of work and how extensive it is. I mean, we used to put like, say 5,000 in case something came up, but nowadays we typically put in a 10% contingency. So let's say scope works like 50,000, we'll put another five in or something like that, and maybe even increase that a little bit. So that's kind of our rule of thumb now, and typically that works out. That is to, if you're looking at all the underlying or things that could happen, you got to try to plan for those up front. But yeah, I'd say 10% will get you pretty close.
Yeah, and that's probably about 80% of the time that that actually happens, that you need that 10%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when you're kind of starting all of this, and I know this probably depends on the person, but how do you guys decide what you're going to contract out versus what you're going to do yourself to save some money there?
Yep. Nowadays, I mean, we've got three or four crews we use that, some do plumbing, electrical, some don't. There's certain things that they're good at and they're not good at. So you kind of learn, trial and error sometimes. I mean, you ask them, you look at some of their projects and their work before, but if they're not good at tile, you hire a tile guy out. Or plumbing, electrical is usually a good idea to hire that out, just so that way it's 100%, doesn't don't have issues when you go to sell it, or inspections come up. So anything that either you're not good at or the contractor you hire is not good at, sub that out to someone who is, so you have a seamless project.
Yeah, definitely. Um, what are some of the money saving secrets that you've kind of learned over the years? Do you have any?
I don't know. I'm still looking for them. I mean, it seems like ours are cost secrets. They cost us money, but no. The best thing is, look at the, like, so if you're doing a fixer upper to sell, or I mean, to live in, you're the buyer. So you look at the things that are going to increase the value the most. Kitchen is most important, master bath. So like this, one of the ones we just did, we had a sitting room off the master, and it didn't have a true master bath. So we took that sitting room, turned it into a master bath, master closet. So that was definitely a value add. Um, but before, we've done certain projects in a house that, I don't know, you look back and you're like, it probably wasn't really necessary and didn't really add a whole lot of value. So you just want to, I guess, pick the projects that are going to add value to the house, and it's not just kind of a waste of money, and just and you look at materials too. I mean, say tile, for instance. If you could find some good looking tile for $1 square foot, versus like a $5 or $6 a square foot, just because you think it's higher quality. I mean, a tile's a tile. I mean, if it's installed correctly, it's not going to break. Shouldn't break unless you drop a bowling ball on it. But yeah, I mean, watch your budget on materials and just pick your right projects, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely a good tip, especially if you're going to sell. Sometimes we'll pick to our own taste and pick some higher end finishes,
Yeah.
which we would love to live in, but don't necessarily need when we're going to sell a project.
Right.
I guess my last question is, what are some of your tips to just staying sane during this whole process? Because you got a lot of people coming in and out, you got a lot of contractors, a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Any tips to just kind of staying sane, especially for you and Jana, that you guys have just kind of learned over the years?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just being realistic. So, if you go in and say, all right, this is gonna be a 5-week project, and it's really like an 8 or 10 week project, then you're stressing yourself out, and probably the contractor too, like, to get done. And no one works good under pressure either, so it's not good for anybody down the road. So if you realistic on your time and then on your budget as well, and don't go over that, because those are probably the two biggest things: your time and then going over budget. Those are the two biggest stressors. So I think you can control those, and it should be fairly stress free.
Definitely. So planning accurately and making sure that you're not rushing the whole process and
Right.
you're actually budgeting the right amount of money, not
Yeah.
some insane amount that you want to hit, but the
Yeah.
actual amount.
Well, and I would add too,
Mm-hmm.
also go in knowing that you're going to run into a problem, because you're going to run into a problem of some sort. So if you know that ahead of time, then it won't like hit you like a ton of bricks when it does happen. So you just got to roll with it.
Definitely. That's
Yeah.
definitely a good idea. So if anybody has any questions about Fixer Uppers or anything that you've kind of gone through, what's the best way to reach out to you?
You can give me a call directly, 816-651-5190. Look us up on Facebook and reach out. We'd love to chat with you. And this is something we're very passionate about, and would love to set you down the right path.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jason.
You bet. Have a great day, Laura.
You too. Bye-bye.